Season 10 of the all-electric ABB FIA Formula E World Championship kicks off here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. This racetrack once again providing this season opener. The circuit Hermanos Rodriguez, a 2.630 kilometer circuit. The first corner here, a very hard braking zone to a right-hander that leads on to the flat oval. And then last year, the chicane added on the back straight where Robin Frijns crashed and broke his wrist. The Forest Stadium used to be baseball, now it's where the attack mode is, the outside line at turn 15. The famous Peraltada completes the lap. And the first race here of Season 10. And the calendar is like this. We kick off here on January the 13th in Mexico City before a double-header in Diria on the 26th and 27th. Then we move over for a month's break with the cancellation of Hyderabad. We're off to Sao Paulo, Brazil on March 16th. Tokyo, Japan on March the 30th. April will see us at a double in Misano replacing Rome before ending at Monaco on April 27th. A double header in Berlin on May 11th and 12th before double in the Shanghai International Circuit May 25th and 26th. Portland does the double on June 29th and 30th, and the season rounds out once again at the XL Centre in London on July 20th and 21st. A 16-round calendar in 2024. It's the first race of the 2024 season, and it's the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship that kicks us off. Welcome to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez here in Mexico City. It's the first of 16 races across the next 7 months, and we cannot wait to get started. Already, qualifying has provided us with an interesting set into the unknown. Pascal Wehrlein on pole position with Sebastian Buemi alongside him on the grid. Promoted up into third place goes Maximilian Gunther as well. There is so much to look forward to. Alongside me in the commentary box this weekend is Alan Lambridge, Ed Hunter, our normal commentary duo still together this season as well. Down in the pits, we've got Josh T. Omi's hanging around in the background if you need to say anything as well. But starting with you, Adam, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, and it's evolution this year for Generation 3. And the car's already faster, and they look meaner heading down towards Turn 1.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining wherever you may be watching from around the world. It's a beautiful day south of the border. Incredible practice sessions, incredible qualifying, and here we are, the first of many, many races that we will be bringing you across all forms of motorsports here at JB Motorsports in 2024, and can't think of a better way to start than with Formula E at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in beautiful Mexico City, Mexico.
Can't wait to get going, Ed. 16 races, quite a lot of them double headers as well in the second half of the season. But we have got some fantastic venues on the calendar. Back to Shanghai, this time actually going to the Jiading circuit, which hosts Formula One. We're going for a double in Portland. Adam, you'll be there with us as well. Double in London, which you'll be at as well, Ed. But there's so much to look forward to, and it all starts right here in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sort of our second season of Gen 3, so we're going to see exactly how the software war has panned out when we go into racing conditions, who's the best at saving energy and who's the best at using it as well. And it's really going to come down to, as it always does in Formula E, efficiency, consistency, and of course speed sometimes helps as well. But yeah, lots of great venues returning from last year. And also plenty of new venues. Tokyo, I think we're all very, very excited about to have a first Formula E race in Japan on the streets of the capital. And to go back to Portland as well, I know infamously Formula E Zone, somebody from Formula E Zone, not me, said that, it wasn't as high profile a city as, say, New York or whatever, but I think Portland's a great place for the race, as the marketing brochure would call it. And so I'm looking forward to that doubleheader too, especially with the attack charge we've got coming later in the season. No need to worry about that today, of course, though, because it's not coming in until Misano, which is round 5. So we've got 4 rounds in my case at least, probably about 2 rounds, because I won't be bothering with Saudi Arabia, of a pre-attack charge weekends to look forward to. So Mexico, we got a very, very interesting grid, and it's going to be interesting to see how mixed up it gets as the race goes on.
Very much is a interesting grid. Jake Dennis, our champion from season 9, starts down in 14th place after a bad qualifying as well. So he's got a lot of work to do. But the two who were fast in pre-season testing seems to have gone right back up there. Sebastian Buemi proving that he still did generally have the pace back in Valencia, back in testing in October. He starts second on the grid. But Pascal Wehrlein just kicking off the way he thought last year was going to start, by having a better pole position. Of course, he won the season opener. He already leads the title, 3 points to his name for claiming the Julius Baer pole position award. And Adam, do you reckon that he's got a chance to win today? I know your personal pick of winner is the same as Ed's of Jake Dennis in 14th, but do you think Wehrlein v Buemi is going to be what we're talking about for the next 35 laps?
Yes, I do believe so, Josh. Those two look really strong in practice yesterday and earlier in the morning and for qualifying. And Pascal Wehrlein is a driver that he can win here. Will he get the job done? Well, you mentioned who Ed and I are picking to win, but with the craziness that we've seen in Formula E over the last few years, we know this: anything can happen at any given time. So who knows?
All set, ready to go. I'm really much looking forward to this as well. Going into it now, I have picked on the JB Motorsports podcast, a brand new motorsport podcast, all the series we cover, all 15 of them, we get to talk about in more detail on this new podcast, available on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube and Twitch as well. I've been saying since our first one on Tuesday when we recorded it, that my pick a winner for this race is Sebastian Buemi. My pick a champion is Pascal Wehrlein. They happen to land at 1-2 on the grid. I mean, Ed, last year we got pretty much championship predictions almost spot on in our commentaries, and we got a lot of the race predictions correct. It was me v you at the start of Pick a Winner last year. You stormed off in front. It was until mid-season that no one could get you on the Grid Network grid ranking board. So we clearly know what we're talking about compared to some other people doing watch-alongs right now. So what do you think? Have you got your crystal ball out all ready to go for this race here today?
I think no matter how confident you feel, you can still be surprised and find yourself coming undone like some of these drivers do in a very, very short space of time, Josh. So there's no need for hubris, I think, especially this early in the season, as I look at Jermaine Jenner standing in front of what looks like a man dressed as a devil with little pointy horns and a big red suit. It's like, remember The Simpsons, where Homer has the fantasy about being evil Homer and dancing over Ned Flanders' grave? Yeah, it reminds me of that. And he seems to be standing in front of Stoffel Van Dorn's car, so I'm not sure what that tells us. Van Dorn, of course, starting inside the top 8, top 8, I think. So yeah. Anyway, there was a question in there about predictions. Yeah, I think I predicted Jake Dennis beforehand, and then he had a really, really bad qualifying because he got held up. So I definitely think the Andretti Porsche is better than 13th and 14th on the grid that him and Norman Nader have qualified it in. It'd be interesting to see if Jake can stay out of trouble, because it's the midfield we've seen is so chaotic. Remember Robin Frines last year breaking his hand at the very back of the field behind Norman Nato, funnily enough. And having that crash that ended up putting him out for half the season, quite a few races actually as well. So I think the main thing in the midfield is just stay out of trouble and have a clean race, because if you can do that, then there's a good chance of banking some points, because it's early in the season, and that's where we're going to see some of these new drivers in their teams that haven't quite bedded in yet, still gaining a bit of confidence. Although with that said, we got Nick Cassidy, who's changed teams, and he's 4th on the grid. So I was surprised at what Adam said, by the way. I really expect the Jaguars to be a big factor today in 4th and 5th on the grid.
Now, I'm just having a quick look, as we're at the Forest Hall, all the pre-race ceremonies are going in place. But according to my driver tracker up here in the comment box, and we'll go on to the battle so you can all see at home, we've got a car stopped on the track at turn 19, and it is the number 3 of the ERT, Sergio Sette Camara. He seems to have stopped, and the yellows are out, and it hasn't updated anything on the timing screen. So I'm just a little concerned whether or not he's made it to the grid or not. We are just checking socials and all our emails to see if he has or not. Just quickly, hello to Dimas, who says, good morning from Indonesia. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening for everyone here around our very vast team this weekend. The Fat Stick says, who was with us during our Le Mans coverage. Nice to see you again. I'm sorry, but I have to say this is the worst form of motorsport. Quick question, why don't they run the F1 the cars on F1 tracks? Well, it used to be the fact that it used to be a city centre circuit, but Ed, I think you can answer this. They are actually running the cars on more Formula One style circuits this season, and certainly IndyCar circuits. The quicker the cars get, the more they're starting to become equivalent to Formula One, IndyCar, so-and-so.
That's true to an extent, but remember, these cars regenerate energy through the front and rear brakes to a large extent. They can regenerate about half the car's energy from the front and rear brakes put together, essentially. So that is why you have so many circuits. Like in Mexico, we have that big chicane that's 6 and 7, isn't it? There's definitely a big chicane on the track, yeah, where we saw Degrassi spinning in qualifying and taking a bit of the barrier off into the path of Dan Ticktum, which luckily didn't damage anybody, but certainly ruined Ticktum's lap. And Degrassi's as well, for that matter. But yeah, so the cars definitely need chances to regen that energy. And in Formula One, like say Spa-Francorchamps is a good example. You've got that massively long Kemmel Straight, or Le Mans, Circuit de la Sarthe being a very, very extreme example because the straights there are so much longer than any Formula E track. If you had a race there, it would only have to be like maybe 5 laps or something like that, because the cars would just eventually run out of energy because there's just not enough points to regen energy. So you'd have to insert these artificial chicanes. We used to see a lot more of them in Formula E on these street circuits, and gradually we're seeing less and less of that, although we still have tracks like London, which are very, very stop-start. Mainly due to the nature of where the circuit's located and how much space is available, because it's an indoor-outdoor circuit at London. Not the case with Hermanos Rodriguez, of course. It's an abridged version, although it's longer than it used to be, of course, than compared to the F1 layout, which of course has a much longer start-finish straight. So it's to do with the way these cars work, the way they regen energy. It's also how many fans they can pack in as well, because the circuits are smaller. As we see an impromptu wrestling match being put on in the middle of the Forest Stadium. Let's hope the luchadors finish before we get going, because this is going to be a bit awkward if not.
It almost looks like it's starting to a bit of overcast down there. 26% chance of rain, it looks like. Let's have a word with Roger Griffiths then.
Wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So yeah, it's getting up and out. Let's hear from Roger Griffiths, team principal at Andretti.
Do something similar, at least get through into the duels, and from there, you're guaranteed an 8th spot. But slight mistake from Jake going into turn 5. Maybe got a bit greedy on the brakes and overshot the apex, and that was a lap. And I mean, if you look at the gaps between the cars, it's so close. I mean, compared to some other championships where there's seconds between cars, here we got half the grid within half a second. So.
If I can just pick up on that, if I may, I'd love you to be able to explain to our viewers, when a driver makes a mistake, you don't need to sort of take him to one side and give him, a bit of a talking to. They just own up to it, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's no punishment required. I mean, they feel bad themselves. They feel bad for the team. Honestly, I think you'll do more damage if you go and have a word with them and just say, you've got to get them in the right frame of mind, pick them up, get them ready for the race, move on, put it behind you, learn from it, and then just get on with the job in hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get in his face, actually. He's quite a big, imposing character, isn't he?
What's your race pace like, Roger? Because we saw last year you guys were able to come through the pack at different events around the calendar. Is that going to be a case today?
Yeah, I mean, our strategy here is we've got to make some moves early on. There's a couple of slower cars ahead of us. We've got to pass them, and we've got to get on the back of the tail of the quick cars. And from there, use the attack mode sensibly and push on forward. You've got to be mindful of not using too much energy in working your way forwards. But if we get held up and a gap opens between the leading group and us, then it's going to be a tough one. But we think we can break through in the top 10, hopefully a top 5. I think a win here could be very optimistic, but, we'll take what we can. It's about damage limitation and from points perspective.
Roger, thank you very much for joining us. We'll let you kind of get back to, I'm sure you've got plenty of work to do.
And that's enough we're going to hear from Jaman Jamas, because if I have to hear whatever his name is for a lot, it's going to really, really hurt. A lot of people actually saying about TNT's coverage being a poor part of this. So I apologise if you're having to watch any of that. Hopefully this is why we're here. Alternative commentary. And if you can't watch it, we've got all the graphics. Let's actually have a word with Jake Dennis. Karoon's got him.
At the moment. No, it's not really brought you luck, but it's got the number 1 on this. That's good. You must be annoyed at the mistake in qualifying, so we're not going to talk about that.
You just did.
Well, just lobbed in there. Let's talk about the race. You know, how far forward? Your boss has just told us he thinks you can get in the top 5. What do you reckon?
That's bold. I mean, I'll take it. If I get a top 5, I'll be very happy. But I mean, there's some really fast cars ahead of us. But I think everyone's got the same plan. You know, we're all pretty good mates. Every driver's just like, I'm just going to send the first 5 laps, and it's like, well, that was my plan. So now you like go back to the drawing board and see how you get on. But yeah, hopefully we keep it clean, survive the first 5 laps, and then we should be able to move forward.
Have you had a word with Norman next door and just make sure you don't break your front wings?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the number 1 rule. Don't take out your teammate. But it's good that we're both together. You know, we're obviously quite far back, but if you want anyone next to you, it's your teammate, so you can move forward, especially for attack mode and stuff like that.
All right, thank you very much. I think Nikki's with Sam Bird.
All the best.
I am indeed, Karoon, and I wish I was wearing my sunglasses, because now that you're wearing papaya, I kind of need them. It's very bright, isn't it? How do you feel in your new uniform?
Just orange from top to bottom now.
It's fantastic, though. I mean, how does it feel to be stepping in your new home, McLaren?
Such an iconic brand, love being a part of it. I've been speaking to Zach about this move for a long time, and we're finally here. Race 1, season 10 of the Formula E World Championship. Looking forward to it.
You're one of the OGs as well, one of the originals here from the very first race.
And what's the plan for turn 1?
Stay out of trouble. I think that this race has the potential to be quite chaotic. A lot of potential little niggles with front wing damage. So stay out of trouble. I think by lap 15, we'll have a rough idea of where people are going to finish. But yeah, first 3-4 laps, there could be a safety car or 2.
So play the long game, conservative on your energy, not take any risks. I'm not sure I believe you.
We'll see, James. We'll see. Yeah.
I want to see some good moves out there.
Cheers.
Good luck.
Sam, very quickly, just talk us through what happened in qualifying.
Unfortunately, we didn't make the line in time to start the last lap, which was a shame because we were really quick. We were showing a top 2, top 3 pace in the session. But look, it is what it is. A long way to go.
But overall, you're obviously impressed with the performance from the car. So can you sort of put that to one side, or is it going to just niggle?
There's little things that I want to try and help them improve, and there's some things that they're teaching me on as well. So look, we learned something today. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. All
right, Sam, I know you're itching to get in the car. We'll carry on. Thank you so much. And James, I've got to ask you, though, because from Sam's perspective, obviously he's coming into a new team. He's bringing a wealth of knowledge from Jaguar. But it must be a bit of a blow when a small mistake from the team has had such implications on his first race. He really wants to impress.
He's got the speed. I mean, we've seen that today. So I'm not sure I believe him that he's going to play it so calm for these first 15 laps. I think we're going to see a tiger out there. We're going to see him fight through, and I think he's going to be fighting for the top 6.
Really? Okay,
I'm
so you
confident.
reckon from P11 he can get up to sort of the fighting at the top battles?
Speed and confidence goes a long way.
Speed and confidence goes a long way. Right, okay, there we are, fighting talk. How does it feel to not be in one of the cars this weekend?
It's
because obviously you're on a different side.
I don't have the same pressure. I just have the pressure of getting across the message to our fans.
So the pressure from the team principal, obviously we've got Ian James at McLaren. What's he doing at the moment? His approach is obviously going to be very different to what Sam
like
is
how
at the
Nicky's
start of the race.
started interviewing
At this
James
point, he's
Russell
most
now.
likely going to be drilling into Sam, stay out of trouble, stay calm for those first 15 laps, which is why Sam's narrative is
I
like
think
that.
Nicky's actually lost her hearing.
Driver to team principal conversations don't normally go to plan when the green light goes out.
Okay, so Sam is just feeding us the information that Ian is trying to impart on him.
Definitely.
Right, I see. Okay, right, back to you, JJ.
International sign of a commentator in trouble is if you see them taking one of their earpieces out. Now, I don't wear an earpiece at the moment. We can, but the speakers in this commentary box are so loud I don't need to hear everybody on the team. But Nikki had one of her earpieces out.
Josh.
Naturally, that's like an international signal to the garage and the gallery that I can't hear you. So I think that's why the interview went on a little bit longer there while they waited to get communications back with Nikki. It's not been a
Half on the
smooth
grid
one.
where it said Kamara should be if you look on this aerial shot, Josh.
Yeah, is he there?
Yeah.
I think was he there? I think is he?
No,
It looks blank.
Josh.
Yes, go on, Josh T.
When we were in the interviews, Sete Camera's car was seen in the background being towed down pit lane on the back of a recovery truck.
So he's out. Thank you very much, Josh T.
Done already then.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was supposed to start 18th on the grid, and you are correct. There was a large hole, and that's why on the driver tracker, he's now being shown on the inside of the pit lane at turn 1. So Sergio Sette will not start this race. He was due to be 18th. He's already out, and he's now going to be finishing number 22 in this Grand Prix EPrix event in Mexico. Okay. We are gearing up to the start for the first time this year. We've got around about 9 minutes until the start of the world feed. Let's cross back down to the grid and catch up with all the information. And when we come back, we'll be ready for all of the racing action. Karoon is down with David and Jermaine.
Interesting. Boehm is a feisty racer, and he's not going to be particularly, relaxed when it comes to battling wheel to wheel with Verline. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Cassidy and Evans, they are very smart racers. We saw last year, very, very intelligent in the way they strategize and run their race. So I think those are the two to watch.
Do you think the pole sitter is the favourite today? A lot of talk about whether you go out first and the issues that can cause.
Well, I would have thought that under normal conditions, but what I'm learning as well is that you use more energy sitting out front when you're punching a hole in the air. So from the pole sitter himself, he said he'd prefer actually to be running second or third. So is that a strategy he can maybe even employ?
Well, think about cycling, right? For those of you who watch the Tour de France or whatever, the rider in front is using 100% energy. The person in second is 70%. The person in third, 64%. Now, we're at high altitude here, 2.2 kilometers up in the air, so it is less of an effect. But there's still a slipstream effect. So the car out in front is just punching that hole through the air.
Well, as we've been showing you, the grid is an absolute hive of activity. As we know, the first race of the season, excitement is building, and there's nowhere else we'd rather be.
Yeah, they go to an ad break, just waiting for us then to get in those questions. Let's go down then to the pits and say hello to our reporter for the evening, Josh T. You've already heard from him saying about Sergio Sette, but Josh, what are you expecting to hear coming into this 10th season of the All Electric Series?
Yeah, back here for season 10, and it is going to be a good season, definitely. It will be interesting to see what happens down into turn 1 and who gets the first race win of season 10 of the Formula E. And we're back in Mexico as always, and for Sol Stadium. How loud can it be today?
Not that loud if we're seeing anything. I'm just seeing Ed sent a message in, and I saw it as well, about the coverage at the moment. It is TNT and Whisper Films have taken over broadcasting as Sette Camera's car. I've just seen it, that photo you sent, Josh. It is on the back. So the ERT team already closing in. 36 laps and 8 minutes of attack mode. It's not. It's a 35-lap race. And attack mode has been increased. 8 minutes available across 2 activations. Well, hang on a minute. You're seeing that on your screen, the same as me. 36 laps and 8 minutes of attack mode. There's been an increase in attack mode for Jakarta with 8 minutes available. They can't even get the blog right. They can't even get their official blog right. And that's on our screen.
We did see graphics on stream while just after some of those interviews, Josh, and it did say 8 minutes of attack mode and 2 activations. So it's 8 minutes total.
Yeah.
But they decide whether to do 2 minutes and then 6 minutes, 4 minutes each way, or 6 and then 2.
Yeah, but I'm on about that.
I think there might be an option to do 1 minute and 7, but I'm not sure about
I'm on about the fact that it says for Jakarta and it's 36 laps, but it's a 35-lap race and we're actually in Mexico. They can't even get that right. On the
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about. It's on the screen now. So,
these things happen.
Yeah, it's first day back, isn't it, for everybody? But we're smashing it, I think, as well. Also, we've been dominating the coverage with the official watch-alongs. Not going to name names, but we smashed their qualifying. Hopefully we can do the same for the race as well. We'll have track noise and graphics and everything.
We don't have the same insights that our competitors do. We only know our own figures, so I think we should just
that's true.
We should just go by that. I think comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. Admittedly, we're going to be comparing a lot of about 21 drivers to all to each other. So tonight, so maybe I shouldn't speak too soon. But in terms of I feel like maybe we should be more cooperative with other people trying to cover the sport rather than slagging them off every opportunity we get. But yeah, I know we think highly of ourselves, but there we go.
Hey, I'm all for some friendly competition. I can't wait, and that's what it is all about.
It's unfriendly, Josh.
Yes. But one thing I will not stand is that I hope that he's realised that Sergio Sitacama won't take the start of the race, because we realised it because the driver tracker told us, and Josh T's amazing pit work on the socials. Right, let's go around the room because we're a few minutes away from the race getting underway. Adam, starting with you, what do you think is going to happen going down towards the first corner?
Well,
Nothing?
I think we will see some argy-bargy, and I think we'll see we will see full course yellow.
That early. I hope you're right, actually, because it'd be an interesting start to the season. Ed, what about you?
Turn 1 tends to be fine. It's when we get to the chicane, isn't it?
Yeah.
At sort of 7-8, isn't it? Where things start to get hectic. So I imagine we will see a couple of stragglers at the back. I actually think as well, you might see one of the front wings of one of the top 10 fall off on the first lap as well. I predict that's going to happen because that's a Gen 3 feature. I don't necessarily think they'll come into the pits to replace it, though, if it comes clean off. Because they'll point to footage from Mexico last year saying, oh, you didn't complain then.
We had Mark Preston in the box last year, and he actually agreed with some of our complaining that we did. Josh T, what about you?
If we don't have lap 1, turn 1, we'll have lap 1 chicane. And if there isn't a full course yellow or safety car caused by lap 1, I will be sufficed.
35 laps ahead of us. I know Omi's around watching on, and if he's not feeling too well, so hopefully he'll be able to enjoy the race. And if he wants to say anything, you're more than welcome to. Omi, just interrupt me talking right now. Aidan Bliss says, we will see mayhem. Brad says, what's wrong with Jermaine Jamas? And how did Formula E end up in TNT Sports? Long story with TNT. It's everyone. BBC, Channel 4 didn't want it. Nobody else wanted it. TNT were already there, sort of with Eurosports. They just swooped in and took it. But in terms of Jermaine, well, JJ is calling him in there. I don't know. Just he's going to take a while to settle in. I hope. BBC wants.
Doesn't seem very confident, does he? He seems a little bit sort of just out of his depth and kind of flailing at points. And you can tell, oh, look at that crowd in the Forest Stadium.
Wow.
That's what we wanted to see. That is good to see, especially after qualifying. I thought it looked a little bit empty during that.
It did.
Now
it's packed.
Everyone is locked in.
We will rock you in the background. I cannot believe we've got a full stadium for Formula E in the Forest Soul. That is absolutely amazing news to kick off the 10th season.
The attendance that they were predicting, 40,000. So
wow.
That is pretty good. We do get a full stadium each year, but I always feel like, oh, maybe it will fall off this year. And inevitably, we come the race, everyone shows up or gets out of the hot dog stand or wherever they are.
4 minutes to go then until the lights go out. Remember, they'll pull forward 4 grid slots. It's a new start procedure this year in terms of how they're going to do things as well, because first of all, Tag Heuer have left sponsoring the series, so the start light have changed. It's a whole new start light pack, and we understand there's going to be some beeps that we're going to be hearing as well, akin to Formula 1, to build up, and hopefully the music will be there too. You can hear it ticking down actually already in the background of the stream. So we're hoping that the start lights are going to be a little bit more energetic and wasn't the dead silence that we had last year, because one thing that was great about Formula E start was that the music built up to a crescendo. Last year felt a little bit flat, so hopefully we'll have something coming from the musical side of Formula E. We've got about a minute to go. Adam, 20 seconds. Are you sticking with Dennis as your pick a winner?
Yep.
Ed?
Sure I am.
It's probably too late to change it, in all honesty, now for me. But I am. But I think in terms of this race, I feel like Pascal. I think I have a good feeling that he's just going to control things from the front, and it's going to be difficult to get past him. But I've been proven wrong before.
Here we go then. It's time to launch into the 10th season of the all-electric Formula E World Championship. It's Evolution this year on Generation 3 rules. The first race of 2024 is moments away. In the commentary box, it's Josh Birch alongside Alan Embridge and Ed Hunter. Down in the pits, it's Josh T. Sit back and enjoy. Formula E kicks off its 10th championship year here in Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. It's the second time we've kicked off at this fantastic venue, a brand new season, and once again we go into it unknown. Whereas last year we were battling a new generation of cars, this year we're battling updates to software. The Forest Stadium is sold out, but this fantastic 2.628 kilometre circuit, the start line offset at 118 metres, provides all the action. Turn 1 is a tight right-hander that leads into a flat oval section as well, before you hurtle down to the 9, 10 and 11 chicane, where last year Robin Fines crashed on the opening lap and broke his wrist. Attack mode will be at turn 15, where you can have 2 activations, you can arm it 5 times, and you can use it 2 to 6, 4 to 4 or 6 to 2. The fans are making their way in, and here's the starting grid from back to front. Nick de Vries starts 22nd on the grid, and he's returned to the championship. Dan Tinctum starts in 21st. 20th for Oliver Rowland, with Lucas de Grassi starting in 19th. Sergio Sete Camara will not start this race. He's failed to do it. Johan Jerusalem, his first ever EPrix, is 17th. Antonio Felix da Costa starts in 16th place as well, alongside Eduardo Mortara in 15th. Jake Dennis and Norman Nato and all Andretti roll on the grid in 14th and 13th. Row 6 sees Nico Muller in 12th and Sam Bird take in 11th place in his first race for McLaren. The top 10, Jean-Eric Verne starts 10th, alongside him is Sasha Fennerstra starting 9th. Penalty for Stoffel Van Dorn drops him 1 place in 8th, alongside him Robin Fine starting in 7th. And then the top 5 on the grid. Mitch Evans, he starts alongside Jake Hughes, starts in 6th on the 3rd row of the grid. What can they do? Remember, Jake Hughes got a brand new car. Going further along then, starting 4th on the grid is Cassidy. What did he do with the grid penalty? We'll see. Only 1 place, remember. Further on down, it's Max Gunther starting 3rd on the grid. Front row though, Sebastian Buemi, who impressed in testing, looking back with Envision. And along pole position, Pascal Wehrlein in the Tag Heuer Porsche, who won the race last year. Can he do anything as we come down towards their quality? Finished 2nd last year with Jake Dennis taking the win, but the last year pole position dropped down to 3rd with Lucas de Grassi. Ed's gone through the grid with the Lego cars, absolutely fantastically done. Ed Hunter and Adam Embridge alongside me in the comments box. Ed, 10 years, can you believe it? They pull away to line up on the main grid. What are you expecting in this new season?
I just had an existential crisis about wasting 10 years of my life. But no, it's time you enjoy wasting. It can't be wasted, as Byron used to say when he was alive. Anyway, it's going to be very, very exciting to see who gets into turn 1 first. I think Wehrlein is going to be looking to control this. All the action is going to be behind how much ground can Jake Dennis make up. And Jake Hughes hold on to the top 5. Will Jaguar come through and control this race with Buemi?
Yeah.
Will the Porsches prevail?
Adam, the lights coming on. They're waiting for the smoke to go. Are you ready to go? I'm ready to go.
Let's rock and roll. Let's. I'm ready to rock and roll, and actually hi to Grid Network. So, Bobby Lambeth in the chat. He's going with the Jaguar.
Here we go.
Mitch Evans to win.
35 laps ahead of us. A total of a brand new year. 16 races. All 5 lights are on. Action in 2024. It's a great start from Buemi, but Wehrlein has to run down towards turn 1. Jake Hughes has dropped back. Buemi's going to have to fight with Gunther, who's going around the outside. The 2 Jaguars, line astern, coming into turn 1 and 2. Already on the grass goes one of the Mahindras as well. Verne's dropped down to 9th. Fenestra's up into 8th position. Nato down to 12th.
Nato on the grass, Josh.
And look at that. Dennis already up to 11th. Verne's back up to 8th position as they're coming through into the hairpin at 5 and 6. There's the Nissan. That's going to be Verne under pressure, because right around the outside comes Fenestras. He's outbraked himself though. Bird's going to have the inside line. Dennis is backed up his teammate Nato with Eduardo Mortara coming back through. Wehrlein leads. Buemi, Gunther, Cassidy, Evans the top 5. Hughes as we come into the chicane for the first time. The McLaren being forced around the outside. Is that Bird? I think it is. As Bird's dropped behind Dennis, who's going to the top 10. Side by side, the Nissan with that's Mortara and NATO side by side. Muller down to 14th place. De Vries still in 21st. Up the inside, got a yellow flag at turn 11. Someone's off, and it's car 11. Is that Lucas de Grassi? It is. Lucas de Grassi has fallen to the back of the field. He's gone straight on in the Farasol. There he is.
Yeah, he hit the barrier, did he?
Fenestrad's on the radio. De Grassi's got a broken wing light. One lap complete as we get going again. What a start, Ed. Verline leads, and the noise from the crowd is electric.
Nicely done, Josh. But yeah, it looked like Degrassi must have got a tap from the rear, and that's why the light's broken. But look at this. Here comes Robin Freins up the inside of, that must be Muller. So Freins had an awful start. Somebody else has got Astarouvla. I think it's gone straight on at turn 1, Josh.
Yep, Jaruvla's gone straight on in the first corner, and he's gone down into 20th position as the timing screens have had a bit of a freeze. They'll come back to us shortly as we come back into the 5-6 chicane. And Adam, they're all just getting together. Here's Fenestrad.
The gap up front.
I would need you to confirm brake temperatures on the main street. 200.
Fenestrad's been told the brake temperature's at 200, but I tell you one thing, Adam, Verline's got the best thing. He's leading, but he doesn't want to leave. He wants to let Buemi take it because you're going to use more energy at the front. The same tactic we saw back in Portland.
Yeah, that's right, Josh. We remember what happened in Portland, and if I'm Pascal Verline, you mentioned he doesn't want to be in the lead. Well, he has no choice right now, and I know he wants to save energy, but right now he can't. Because if he does, Sebastian Remy will be on his tail and pass him for the lead. So, surprisingly clean first lap. So, it was quite interesting, I will say.
They're all keeping it calm, Ed.
I can just point out, by the way, that Portland is much closer to sea level, so the altitude's very different, as we hear from Bert.
Nah, he wasn't saying anything on the radio, just maximise attack mode, so it wasn't anything important. Oh, into the barrier! And that goes Nico Muller. He's been spun round. Yellow flag at turn 4. He gets going. But this is disaster for Abs. First Degrassi, now Muller, and that's one of the Porsches in trouble with a broken suspension. And is that going to be
That's the front wing, Josh.
Oh, it's
the front wing that's dragging.
Yeah, and the front wheel's gone too. Yeah, DaCosta's out of the race.
They've come to blows.
You can see the tyre mark on his front right end plate, so I think they've been squeezing each.
Well, David Coulthard's speaking over the radio. Yeah, so this will be a safety car with that stuck out on the track. Hopefully our timing monitors come back shortly because they're still stuck on that too.
Behind Buemi.
Vern's taking it. Verline takes attack mode. Buemi takes the lead of the race, as does Vern. Mortara, Freins, Roland, they're all taking 2 minutes. Freins has taken 6 minutes, so he's on the second option to come into it as well. Timing screens haven't come back yet. They're still thinking it's lap 2. Buemi leads. Verline, Gunther, Cassidy. Evans the top 5. But taken 5 minutes of attack, 6 minutes of the attack mode with Robin Freins. He's dropped to 14th. Everyone else taking 2 minutes. If that safety car gets deployed for that car stopped on the track, it could be drama. No sign of the safety car yet. As we see Verline right behind Buemi looking for an overtake already. There's the yellow flag down to turn 4. It's not working out the way we think it is. Buemi, though, leading this race.
Off track. So it depends if that's an unsafe position or not. We know Muller has got going. Degrassi's going to the pits to retire. So here we go. We're going to see a replay, Josh, of what happened.
So this is, and that's DeGrassi. Is that, well, which one was that going on the side?
DaCosta hitting Muller.
DaCosta hitting Muller, and that's DaCosta's front wheel going wrong. So there's where they came to blows. There's a yellow flag out down at turn 9 and 10 as well.
Move from Antonio.
So
it's a bit clumsy and needless.
Right, look, our graphics are back. Fantastic. So, taking attack mode as well, coming into his Sam Bird. Buemi takes it too. That gives Verline the lead back. Cassidy's taken 2 minutes, but Buemi has gone for the full 6 minutes straight away. And so has Bird. Bird taking it. You get 8 minutes maximum, and then you can use it in separational marks. So, it's 6 minutes as well for Jake Hughes on the first go around. NATO's past Bird, but Buemi's under attack from Gunther because he was out of line coming through the Forest Sol. On board with Max Gunther down towards the first corner. Buemi should have more power this lap though. Wow, what a start.
It's amazing seeing them going for attack mode so early, but you've got to remember when they go into that attack mode, they've got 350 kilowatts at their disposal, like they did in qualifying, so they've got to be so careful on the throttle pedal through the Peraltada, that final corner, and that was what you saw from Buemi there. Now down the straight, he should be able to pull away and just wait for those last few seconds of Wehrlein's attack mode to expire, and he's going to have a big advantage here. So Wehrlein will have to be smart here.
Crucially, no safety car, Adam, as well, so the race can continue on as planned. If it was any other year, they might have decided to throw it, or at least a full course yellow. As Ed pointed out, he was off the track, he was out of sight, so the race can keep going. But Wehrlein used those 2 minutes. He's, in my opinion, has got control of this.
Yes, I would agree, Josh. And we see someone else taking one of the Jaguars taking attack charge. Is either Evan Cassidy, and I would use the attack charge for the middle of the race. I would.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
They're all getting rid of it early. It's what we saw last year, Ed, isn't it? They all do it incredibly early, and then they can just focus on regeneration of the energy later on in the race. But interestingly enough, they're taking the 6 minutes to begin with when the field's... Oh, and we've got Pascal Wehrlein under investigation for a technical infraction. Pascal Wehrlein, the race leader, is under investigation. Unbelievable. So this will be a drive-through penalty at minimum. It usually is.
Yeah, and we saw this for Dan Ticktum at Mexico last year, wasn't it? It wasn't his fault. He went over a curb or something, and there was a little power spike. So it's Dennis and NATO as well showing us under investigation for technical infractions.
Ahead is under investigation.
Three
so
horsepower cars in trouble.
Yeah, did you say Dennis and NATO too? Because it's true.
Yeah, that's what I just saw on the timing screen.
Yeah, good. So it's Wehrlein, Dennis and NATO under investigation for technical infraction. But Buemi takes the lead. Buemi's retaken the lead as the two DS Penske's of Van Dorn and Vern.
Wehrlein's gone into attack mode again.
Yeah, so he's taken 6 minutes. So that's Wehrlein completely out of attack mode. But Buemi's still got 3 minutes plus 2 still to use as they come out of the Forest Sol. It's a madness trying to keep up with this. The lead has changed hands so many times already between the two. Here's the radio.
Now with a 6th of a second advantage at the sharp end of the field.
Usage in slipstream.
Da Costa and Muller under investigation for causing a collision as well, as on the grass goes Sasha Fenestrad's coming through the first corner. It's a balmy Formula E race already, and look how close Wehrlein is to the back of Sebastian Buemi. He's practically in punching distance.
Well, if you just heard that radio message, the Porsche engineers were telling Wehrlein, stay in the slipstream of Buemi, essentially, so don't let him get away. We'll have to deal with the penalty post-race, it sounds like, or whatever happens. But they're not telling him to get into the pits yet. We want to do a drive-through. But yeah, this could be very, very interesting from now on. But Buemi now is surely in the box seats, no matter what happens to Wehrlein, as long as he's got that track position and that gap to Gunther, who's now the main threat to him. And Gunther has got his hands full with the two Jaguars. Interestingly, Dennis, I was just about to say, gained loads of places by not going into attack mode, and now he's just gone into attack mode and come out behind Van Dorn in 8th.
So Da Costa's out of the race. Degrassi's in the pit lane as the leaders continue to change on. What a start. Honestly, I'll tell you what, Adam, this racing is just electric. As we see, fast start for Cassidy.
Again, Josh.
Yeah, kind of, with craziness that we've seen in the race so far, kind of takes me back last year, Josh, when you and I covered the Portland EPrix. It was the inaugural race there, and it was great. It was really crazy, and we're seeing the same thing here in Mexico City. So maybe the start of another incredible year in Formula E.
It just won't stop, will it? It's constant drama, constant action, and that's exactly what we like to see in this championship. Fingers crossed we keep it going, because we don't want to lose it. The leaders at the moment, though, Buemi leads. He's got another minute left on his attack mode, though, and he's going to take every single second he can, isn't he? As well, Ed.
Exactly. So Buemi, he's struggled to build a gap here, actually, because Wehrlein has followed those instructions. So he is going to have about 2.5 minutes of attack mode once Buemi runs out. I I think a lot of them have
Four.
gone through 2 attack mode activations already.
Frines is off. Double yellow, turn 13. Frines is off at the Forasol.
No.
Robin Frines has come to a stop at the Forasol section. It's a big one. He's gone straight into the wall. Coming into...
It's a safety car for sure.
Yeah, I'm getting my stopwatch ready to start timing it. So Robin Frines has ended up in the wall. NATO no further in action. It might even have to be a red flag if that car's stopped. It's blocking the track in many respects. Frines' radio, full course yellow.
To bring this under control.
I know what's happening.
Frines doesn't know what's happening, but I can tell you it's a full course yellow, which reduces the field. Yeah, and now, oh, look at that, Bohemi's, and nearly into the back. Cassidy runs into the back of Gunther under full course yellow. Did he damage the front wing? But Robin Frines is out of the EPrix. Full course yellow's out. Here's Scott Elkins.
So that's Scott Elkins, the FIA race director, who's just talking to all of the drivers. He's got control of that, saying, stay hard right. That's where Sesek...
Yeah, this might have to be a red flag, actually, because where it is on the circuit. Maybe a safety car to bunch him up and slow down, but it's literally at the entrance to the Peltada at the back half of the track. It's quite hard to get a car out of that part of the circuit. I know there isn't a skate road there.
7 of the road there, because it narrows up so much. Yeah, so they're going to have to be ultra good. I feel like not putting it under safety car maybe is a little bit of a risky call here.
Yes, Scott Elkins. Don't know why we haven't gone full safety car. Let's take a look at what happened to Robin Frines then. Into the Peltada. He's going to go on the inside line. That's one of the... Oh, it's one of the Mahindras coming out of a tunnel. Oh, hello, what happened there? He got on the dust.
He lost it on his own over the curb, over the dusty surface, and just went into the outside wall. Oh, everyone did well to avoid him there.
I thought it was going to be a... Yeah, so that was Mortara. Mortara didn't hit him. Mortara came on attack, but safety car. Safety car's out. So they've deployed the full safety car. They need to bunch the field up in order for this to become even remotely possible. They literally have a runoff area just there. But they need to clear the debris up. And it's a fast part of the track as well, and it's blocked. So can the safety car even get through that? It's going to be a bit difficult.
Is Frines still in the car as well?
Yeah, because he can't get out of the car.
I hope he's okay.
He should be okay.
I do think back to that wrist injury.
Yeah, that's true.
Aggravated anything. That was quite a sudden hit with the wall there, but there's the safety car waiting to pick up his teammate Boemi. But yeah, my pick for the championship, that's not been a good start for Robin, to put it mildly.
Bruno Correa, the safety car driver, will follow him around at a snail's pace. Now, if we spend anywhere between... If we go up to 3 minutes 10 under full course, the safety car will have it. Here's the start though, Ed. If you're on Arden, whoever's watching, you want to take a look at it. Oh, really bad
I'm
start.
still watching for it.
From
yeah,
Frines.
that was how Frines dropped from 6th down to outside the top 10 there. And yeah, it's so tight here. The two Andretti's going either side of that must be the apt of Nico Müller there. They're just doing very, very well not to squeeze him, actually, because that is so easy to do when the track narrows up. Yeah, up front, Wehrlein had a beautiful start, and then I think really got undone by the timing. In typical Pascal Wehrlein bad luck fashion, got undone by the timing of that safety car. So now Boemi, if he can keep his energy managed to keep Wehrlein at bay, because I don't think there's been any further on the investigation. So it sounds like NATO we know is definitely cleared. Did you see anyone else being cleared in the stewards' notes, Josh?
Nothing, only NATO. NATO's the only ones that's appeared in the stewards being cleared.
Dennis and Wehrlein could still be in trouble then.
Yeah. So, just having a quick look at the YouTube chat. Kobe said, of course, Mitch Evans. Brad said, what have they done to this track since the Mexican Grand Prix? It's different. It's a different variation for Mexico. It's using the oval track. Gavin says, the voice is back. You're starting the season as a champ. Josh, thank you very much. That means a lot after the difficult winter. It seems that no matter what the configuration of Mexico is, this track is awful in F1 and MotoGP and Formula E. But hey, Formula E gives us our best race. There's Robin Frines, though, out of the car. And is A-OK. They'll now crane that away. But the safety car is coming to that part of the track now. They can come to a full stop. We've been under safety car and full course yellow now for 3 minutes and 52 seconds, which means that we will have at least one added lap to the duration. Safety car maximum lap time here is a 3:10 underneath. And we talked about this earlier, Adam. What do you think of Frines as you see it on board with him now?
He just got up in the dusty part and just lost it. And we saw that, during practice one, and even some in practice too in the Peritata, coming out of the last corner. And it caught out Robin Franz here in the race. So, will we see it again? And let everybody know here that's watching the YouTube stream, if you did not watch the first episode of the JB Motorsports podcast, you should go watch it, because to let everybody know, if you don't already, for the first time ever here at JB Motorsports, we will be broadcasting the incredible, awesome Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona sports car race at the end of January. So tell your friends, tell your family. If you don't already subscribe to JB Motorsports, tell them to subscribe, because we're going to have plenty of motorsports action coming your way here in 2024, including the debut of the NASCAR Cup Series right here at JB Motorsports, like a lot of people wanted. So you're going to see yours truly here a lot this year, and I'm personally looking forward to it.
Safety cars in this lap. Let's hear from Verline.
Little gaps in some of the running order.
The strategy will be to, whatever happens, just follow and tied in Wemi's tail and not overconsume, just stay behind him, being efficient. So that will be the strategy moving forward on green.
Well, the safety car's coming in this lap, but Wemi's got 2 minutes of attack mode left. Verline has none. Gunther's got 4. Cassidy's run out. Evans has 6 minutes. Hughes 2. Van Dorn 6. Dennis 4. Nato's still got all 8. Vern is out of it. Bird's got 2. Fenestra has 6. Mortara, Roland, Ticktum are out. De Vries has got 6 minutes. Deruvla's got 6. Muller's out of it. And then we've got Fines, DeCosta, DeGrassi, and Centre Camera out of the race anyway. Safety car's in, and we go to 6 minutes 20, which means we'll have 2 added laps. So here we go again. Sebastian Buemi controls the field. It's when the green light goes on that we will go back to racing. 74% of energy across the field. Bart Ticktum has got 73. Dennis Nato Vern on 75. Buemi leading them up. There's the restart. And we are racing again in Mexico City. And Buemi has caught Verline napping ever so slightly, but Verline's going to have the power coming through with the traction down towards turn 1. Gunther's with them as well. Anyone going to go for a move? Hughes going defensive against Van Dorn. Coming under pressure as well on the inside. Dennis and Nato having a look on his teammate, didn't make through. Vern stays in 10th position as Verline on the back of Buemi. Like a hot knife through butter, he wants to go through with ease, as we see already Gunther just trying to stick on the back, but he's been caught by Cassidy, and then Evans is right behind as they come into the braking zone up the inside as well. That was Mortara having a look at Fenestraza, who's having a look at Bird. All good at the restart though, Ed, but this is getting where we see who's going to go for attack mode. Surely Nato.
He will have to get through those 2 deployments. Buemi has also got 2 minutes to use as well, so he will want to build at least some sort of gap to Verline.
ready for good stuff.
Okay. BB plus 1. BB plus 1. Watch out, Buemi's got almost the gap to us.
Buemi's going for it. Buemi takes attack mode. Buemi takes attack mode and gets out ahead of Gunther. They were literally just warning him about that on the radio, and Buemi's managed to take it. Now he's got 2 minutes to catch back up to Verline, and then it's all go. Verline leads as we start lap 12.
Brilliant call from Envision there. They saw the gap opening and they went for it. Dennis has come into a gap right behind Vern after his deployment as well. So these teams really not hanging around. Immediately after the safety car comes in, once the gap opens up, they're using it.
DaCosta and Muller causing a collision investigated after the race, Adam, as well. But Buemi's now, what do you think he'll do? Will he attack Verline or will he defend from Gunther? It's a long way to go. Lap 13 of 35 plus added laps.
Oh, that's a good question, Josh. I would attack.
Yeah.
I'd go and attack. I mean, and someone picks Buemi to win here, so Josh.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Fresro's back and dancing around the commentary box if you can't see me. This is absolutely fantastic having racing back in front of us. But he's got 50 seconds left. Now, Dennis did take attack mode as well. He took 4 minutes, so he's got another 4 to go, I think. Dennis, no, he's out of it. So that's his last one. So Dennis on his last attack mode now. Nato takes 4 minutes. Van Dorn has taken 6 minutes as well. So that's Nato's first. He's using half and half during the 2 hours of the race as they split back through in the timing order. Verline starts and completes lap 13. He starts lap 14. 22 laps to go in the race. I like that graphic on the side of the track there with virtual reality. Very nicely done. Into the first corner. Look at the two Jaguars, though, Ed. Cassidy and Evans. Now, Evans has more attack energy than Cassidy left, so surely they should swap over now to stop anything from going wrong.
Oh, I don't know about energy, but he's certainly got another attack mode deployment, whereas Cassidy has used both of his to sort of keep track position against his teammate. I don't know, there's a little bit of a sense that Jaguars are fighting each other and letting the top three sort of escape here. Gunther has also got another attack mode to use, so Cassidy could sneak onto the podium here. It depends in terms of efficiency whether Jaguar is still in with a shout of the win here. They need to make sure they don't trip up over each other because Hughes is there to take advantage. And then you've got your DS Penske's and your Andretti's who are looking very dangerous in terms of the amount of energy they've saved at this point, starting lower down the field.
Evans has taken 6 minutes, Hughes has taken 2. So there they go again. Do they get out ahead of the DS of Vern? They do. Vern separates the two.
One of them does.
Wow, I thought, well, Vern's had a bit of a nightmare with attack modes in Mexico, both here at Ultra General Hermanos Rodriguez and at Puebla. So, nice to see he's not losing that track too much, but Gunther's right in the back of Buemi, and he got so much more traction out of the Peltada into the first corner. Buemi gets a little bit on the dust as well. He's not looking as focused as I thought he might. Verline might just take this race, unless Buemi's got something left. Buemi has not won since season 5. It's been a long road. Can he take it? Gunther wants to win. Verline just wants to better what he did last year in the first EPrix in season 9. Loving this. Oh, here's Gunther.
Lap if he's able to just have enough of an advantage.
Okay, Evans and Hughes to attack. We've got a 2-second gap. Spend energy, pass Buemi if we had. It's race critical. Okay.
Yeah, go on, Ed.
They said, okay, I'll give it a go, I think was the response there. But that is interesting because Gunther, if he comes in, he's going to come out behind Cassidy because Cassidy and Evans, for that matter, don't have to do another one. So he's going. Does he keep trying to fight? There we go, he's going for it. So he's giving up position to Cassidy, so he needs to pass Cassidy sharpish. We saw Buemi, he went for that attack mode, could not make any inroads on Pascal Verline. Verline really just was incredibly consistent there, and there was nothing Buemi could do to snatch a lead back. So now it's back into Porsche's court, really.
There's Robin Friends, delighted to see that, unlike last year when he was being taken off to hospital in the medical ambulance, he's in the back of the garage looking A-OK. Track noise has gone a bit wobbly there. Is that a... No? Okay. Don't know why that's happened. I was worried TNT were going to a break. Verline from Buemi, Cassidy with 4 minutes on the attack, but 3:22 left on that board as well as they come back down into it. Oh, hello a minute. I've just realised that our driver... Hello? I just realised that everything we're watching right now on the TV pictures are completely in sync with what's happening on television. That's never happened in a Formula E race before. Usually we're at 20 seconds behind. We're actually in sync. Brilliant. Okay, so enough of me rambling. Evans has got 3 minutes 45 left on his 6 minutes that he took. Van Dorn's got 2:26. Nato's going to run out, and he's stuck behind his teammate Dennis.
And there was us criticising TNT Sports when actually...
Yeah, they've helped us out.
They finally got us in sync for a change. So everything apart from the race is a disaster.
Yeah, everything about...
TNT Sports.
And they don't even control the race part of the broadcast, which is hilarious enough because that's done by the World Feed. It's completely mad.
Yeah, look at Gunther. He's starting to really try and push against Cassidy, but he's not really making enough inroads. Still 7 tenths behind.
And one ball with Buemi, looking ahead to Verline. The gap now is 0.898 between them as they come into the first corner.
Was 3 tenths quicker previous lap, Buemi.
He was indeed, yeah. You can see the leader's gap on your screen. I just need to try and adjust that for you going into it. But this energy, this race is absolutely just going nuts. It's what we love to see. It's what we want to see in Formula E. We didn't want cars being able to follow each other for the sake of it. We wanted pure action, and we are getting it as they come into the Follisol once again. And fingers crossed it'll be a smoother transition to this one. As you see, the leader for Verline, gap between them, that's Buemi. I'm trying to have a look and see which one it is actually on the board. Okay, what you're seeing on your screens is the interval, so that's the gap between the two drivers. That's what you're seeing on your timing screen as one of the fans rejoins from the bathroom a bit too late, getting back to his seat in the Follisol Stadium sector. I would not like to be...
I realised he left the stove on.
Yeah, he's right. If he's right in the middle as well, imagine how many people he's going to have to trip over. It's not a big grandstand there. 18 to go. We're halfway there in the Mexico City EPrix, but we've got 6 minutes 38, which is equivalent to an extra 2 laps. Nikki.
So all eyes are obviously now on Sebastian Buemi. Also, just a bit of an update. We had confirmation from the ABB team that Lucas de Grassi suffered some brake issues, so that's why he retired as a precautionary measure.
Nikki Shields finally doing her job as pit reporter, being allowed to, because usually we don't hear from her during the race, but there's a new role this year for her. She actually gets to be the pit reporter, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So we actually get to hear more in-race updates. Let's check in with our pit reporter, though. Josh T, what are you making of the race so far at half distance?
Yeah, well, we got a safety car, not when we predicted it to be, and I am surprised that that wasn't an instant safety car as soon as it happened, or even a red flag, because that was very dangerous. And even though there was a cut-off there, they had to drag the car across the tiniest gap that the cars would be able to get to, then clear the debris. Yeah, it was a bit of a mess, and probably one of the worst places to crash, because even if you crash at the chicane, you've still got that little cut through where you can cut the whole chicane out.
Yeah, they'll have to improve on that in the future. Thanks, Josh. Coming into it, Ed, we're past our distance. Evans has now run out of attack mode. We've got 25 seconds left. But really, Verline's in complete control. This is the part of the race where everything quietens down when everyone's energy saving, and then it all gets mad right at the end.
That's usually the way it goes. You might have one or two teams gambling and hoping that there's a safety car and using a bit more energy in this phase. Yeah, the attack modes, they've not been able to make too many passes with them, have they? It feels a little bit like they've all been trying to just get them out of the way as soon as possible. And this sort of the opposite to what we saw at Mexico last year when people were a bit less sure. We saw them all just using them in the middle of the race to try and regain positions effectively. But so once they've all run out of attack mode, we're going to get down to the energy saving part near the end, and it'll be interesting to see if I think the ones to watch out for who might struggle are the Maserati, particularly maybe someone like Jake Hughes and the Nissan Power McLaren as well.
NATO has just taken his last attack mode, so NATO now has taken all of them for this EPrix, and that, I believe, has run everybody out. Buemi has taken the fastest lap of the race, a 1:15.036, and he's closing that gap. Well, that's actually now a second between him and Verline as well.
Verline's extended it since that by a tenth.
Oh, so it's getting worse all the time, isn't it, at the moment? On board with Sasha Fenestraz. Adam, you were going on about Sasha Fenestraz a lot in practice, weren't you?
I thought, Sasha Fenestraz would, at least have a top 10 starting spot, for the race today, and it didn't work out for him. But it seems to be up there, trying to contend, for a top 10 finish in the race. So, really impressive, from Sasha, to start the 2024 Formula E season.
Frines and Mortara are under investigation for causing a collision. So that incident that brought out the safety car is being investigated by race control. Blader Dragon Sonic says, "Come on, Buemi." Even I'm saying, "Come on, Buemi." He's my pick-a-winner in the Grid Network's Pick-a-Winner Championship. He's my pick-a-winner, so I want to get on the board. And I don't want, as much as I like the guy, I don't want Verline's my championship pick-a-winner. Don't want him to win this one, as we see already. This is Evans under pressure from Vern into that first corner, being chased by Jake Hughes. And this is the battle over fifth position. Closing together. Here's Gunther's radio.
All of us in TV land put it out there.
Doing a great job for info deployment turn one. Both Cassidy and Evans behind are deploying more than us. You're doing a great job. Apex speed looks good.
It's an electric championship. The engine's supposed to be, the battery's silent. You can't hear much. And yet, even then, we still can't hear the team radio crystal clear. It just shows how loud the cars actually are. Look at the braking power from Evans into the 9, 10, 11 chicane. Vern right on the back of him. But I'll tell you one thing, Ed, as well. They are going to have to work incredibly hard now, because it's where track position becomes key in order to either use or save battery percentage.
This is interesting from Jaguar. I wonder if Evans is saving energy for an assault on Gunther later on, and that makes him potentially a little bit vulnerable to Verne at this point in the race. So the Diaz actually doing a great job in the back of that Penske car.
Verne's got a great exit coming out of the Peltada. Evans is twitching the car ever so slightly. Verne's doing exactly the same. The gap between them is closing as they come across the line. It's less than 0.5, coming less than 0.3, coming into the braking zone. Nobody can seem to find a way through. Exit at 1. Verne running in 6th position. The gap is actually 0.526 now between them. I have to look at a different monitor to see that. For some reason, part of my time screen is showing gap between the leaders. I need intervals. There we go. To see the gap between them. Gunther's 0.6 off of Cassidy at the moment. Evans actually separated the gap. Verline has dropped in that last lap as well. He's lost a lot of time. The gap now 0.9 to Buemi, so he's closing in. That 22 of 35. Don't forget, according to the stopwatch, we're going to have an extra 2 laps because it was 6:20 to 9:29 for 2 extra laps, and we spent 6:38 under full course yellow and safety cars. So that combined together, Blade Dragon Sonic says supporting him since 16. That's Sebastian Buemi as well. That crucial championship in London, Adam, you might remember.
That was also 16, as we see De Vries go into attack mode now, NATO runs out simultaneously. 16 was also the year Buemi lost Le Mans with Toyota right at the death as well. And we did an interview with him where Buemi said that he actually nearly thought about packing it in from racing. It was winning Formula E Championship in London. This sort of made him decide to stay and sort of reinvigorated his morale a little bit. Yeah, as you say, several years since New York Season 5, which was his last win, and also the last win for Nissan Edams before the passing of their founder, Jean-Paul Driot, of course, the Frenchman who led that team as damned for so many years, and of course it's now changed hands and just become the factory Nissan team outright. They've bought the whole Edams operation. So yeah, it would be great for Buemi, although the Nissans themselves are fighting for 12th and 14th, although Roland has done very well actually catch up to Fenestraz, despite sparring from the very back row of the grid.
Buemi moved over to Envision last season, didn't have a great year when he wanted to. That's it, and now this year testing was already better. Here's Verline.
Okay, Pascal, pace is looking good, energy under control, car behind deploying more adamant to stay in our slipstream, so that looks good.
So basically Verline's holding up Buemi, so the slipstream goes to Cassidy, so that becomes the little battle between the two. That's very clever.
I don't think that is. I think that's telling us that Buemi's struggling to stay in Verline's slipstream. I think Cassidy is sort of 2 seconds back, isn't he?
Buemi, yeah. So you're right, yeah. Buemi's now 2.4 seconds behind Verline. How did that happen? He was 0.9 away from him.
Dennis on the back of Van Dorn.
That's coming down to turn 3. Can he have a go on the outside? No. Van Dorn shut the door at the exit. Dennis is going to still try and have a look at the inside line into turn 5 and 6. A little bit of a puff of smoke, but he just makes it in. Goes in a little bit deep. Hooks it up at the exit. Oh, and then puts the power down and drifts out the rear. Dennis really kicking the backside out of that Andretti Global car. And I'll tell you what, Adam, as well, Andretti rebranded this year. They want to go all in Formula E, in the Extreme H when it comes in, and of course in IndyCar.
Yeah, that's about right, Josh. Andretti Global, all in on Formula E, all in IndyCar. They also have, we all know they're trying to get on the F1 grid in a few years' time, so Michael Andretti is doing everything he can to make it happen. So, Andretti, used to be known as Andretti Autosport. Now it's Andretti Global, and it'll take getting used to across all forms of motorsports. But I think Andretti Global is going to be a threat, not only here in Formula E, but I think in the NTT IndyCar Series as well.
We'll be covering all of the IndyCar season here on JV Motorsports as well throughout 2024, including even the Rolex 24 Hours, as Adam said, at Daytona at the end of January. Our qualifying coverage for that next Sunday at, I think, 3 p.m. in America, over there in America. We'll be covering all of the action live on YouTube and Twitch, the entire Rolex 24, same weekend as the second and third races for Formula E Season 10 in Saudi Arabia in Diriyah. But I know Ed's not joining us for Saudi Arabia, but you're more than welcome to join us for Daytona in this one as well as we come into it. And Blade has now said, so now I'm subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, Blade.
This is Remy really starting to become under attack from Cassidy now that Gunther has sort of been held at bay now for a while. So Nick Cassidy really looking to sneak second place in this race, which would be crucial points for Jaguar in not just the drivers but the team's championship as well. They're the only one who's got both cars still running of the top 3 teams at the moment.
Boemi is regenerating energy like crazy coming into that first and second sector as well. Looks like, oh, and Cassidy locks up, just gets a little bit reacted to Boemi having a moment at the 5-6 hairpin, just locked up a little bit, and Cassidy just went in a bit too deep. He's managed to pick it up, only lost him 0.2 of a second though, so there is thankful for small mercies there. The McLaren of Hughes under attack from Van Dorn and Dennis. They're getting quite close in the background now.
We know the Nissan powertrain wasn't quite as efficient as Porsche or the Jaguar one last year, and we know the DS seems on the evidence of this race they seem to have caught up, because Gunther has been no slouch whatsoever, even though I think Cassidy Jaguar powertrain seems to have a little bit of an edge. But yeah, I think the really thing that's hurt Porsche in this race is that having 3 of their cars qualify out of position, because I think Dennis and Nato could have made been much more of a factor at the front if they'd not qualified near the back, and we saw the Costa make a clumsy error with Muller, which seems to have although Muller is actually still ahead of Dan Tickton by some way, so Muller doesn't seem to have been too badly affected if everyone at the back is not already fighting for points. So
no further action for Frines and Mortara for causing that collision. Don't know how long that's been on the screen, but I've just looked down and seen that it had changed, so no further action. As we now see Jean-Eric Verne trying to get past Mitch Evans, and it's not working out that much. Gunther's pulled out the gap now 1.8 seconds to these two in the battle on board with Jean-Eric Verne. I think Ed can correct me if I'm wrong, but Jean-Eric Verne's still our only repeat champion in Formula E.
That's correct, yes. Season 4 and Season 5 with Tuchuka, of course. I would hope there'd be no further action for Mortara and Frines, because I don't think Frines and Mortara ever made contact during that incident.
No, I don't think they did.
I think it was very, very close. The angle was a little bit deceptive when you looked at the onboard face at Frines' helmet. Or Frines, seems to insist on calling him. Look at this Jeb all over the back of Evans. Evans looks a little bit in trouble to me here.
He's trying to regen energy so much, and he's lost so much speed coming out with 8 laps to go. Is Verne going to fancy a move into the first corner? No, it's a dangerous move to try and pass there. Josh T's got news.
There was no contact at all. I don't even know why it was under investigation in the first place, because from onboard, yes, it looked close, but from so many off-board shots, there was a mile between them.
Adam, Verne is being held up behind Mitch Evans for so long. This is not going to do Verne's ego and temper any good. He gets very easily frustrated.
Might be saving energy.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true, Ed. I thought Jean-Eric Verne would have find a way around Mitch Evans right now. If I'm Jean-Eric Verne, I'm really mad that I haven't gotten around Mitch Evans somewhere.
Sorry, our pictures went black for a second, but they're back with us now up here in the comms box. It's funny, actually, I was just looking at the OBS, making sure that it was okay, and then I looked down at the monitor where Ed and Adam are, and they just disappeared. But back with it now, as we look at Evans under pressure from Verne into turn 1 again. Verne's practically pushing him through now. This is going to be an overtake in the next 10 seconds or so.
Well, more like maybe 5 laps, but to be safe. But yeah, Bohemi's closed a little bit on Verline, 1.7, but the gap there.
He's down, isn't he?
Changed.
He is. Just a touch on John Verne team radio.
7. Bohemi pushing.
Really annoys me that they don't notice that the team radio's on. It's like, shush.
It could be that they're relying on someone in their ear telling them that they don't see exactly what we see.
That's a possibility. Tom Brooks making his 5th appearance in the race, and he's broken the curse because in every race that he's commentated on, there's been a red flag. So there hasn't been one. So Tom Brooks can get away with that little curse now. It was actually the same for Bob Varsha. He caused so many red flags.
Well, I mean, the race isn't over yet, Josh. So
that's true.
Crossed,
yeah. Anything can happen in the next 7 laps. Don't forget, we've got it added time on the board. Verne is all over the back, and Evans is coasting through the Pelotada. The slipstream is so much more powerful. Can Jean-Eric Verne make the move? It won't be into turn 1. Let's hear from Gunther.
It's not there. I don't think it's a big enough sort of deceleration into turn 1.
1% less that Cassidy ahead. Same energy as the leader.
So Gunther's been told...
It'd be nice if we could see the energy on stream as well.
Yeah, we can't see that, but Cassidy apparently the same energy as Verline, and Gunther being told that.
I heard 0.5% difference between Cassidy and Burnley.
We need to see that on the monitor. That's what we need. Somebody get hold of the TV director, because this is getting annoying now. I want to see what's going on. Oh, but we've been staying with the battle for 5th for the past 4 laps. Meantime, at the front, Verline's pulled a 1.8 second lead to Boemi. Cassidy's back by 0.9. Gunther's then 1.2 seconds back. There is so much between them. That's Bird. Bird's taken what, 4 minutes? How long's he been on attack mode for? Bird has taken attack mode in 2 minutes.
He's gone in for 2 minutes. He's just gone in for 2 minutes.
So he must have been option 3, which was 6 minutes in your first activation, 2 minutes in your last. So Bird still had time to play. Sasha Fenestras still has 6 minutes, and he's running in 11th place. He's going to have to do that soon. But yeah, that's not a killing mess.
By Nissan as well, because that's going to give position to Roland here. And they're going to be just outside the points as well, behind NATO.
You must use it, of course, otherwise you get a penalty. Top 2, status quo of when the race started. Biggest winner, Roland, up 8 places. De Vries is up 7, up to 15th place. Muller's down 5. I think it was Robin Friends, if he was still in the race, would have had the worst luck. He was just catatonic at the start.
Well, Friends was fighting with Mortara, so he'd be about 12th, 13th right now, at worst, to be honest.
That's true. I'll tell you one thing, Adam, this little battle's growing on us, isn't it, at the moment, because Evans is just perfectly holding back Verne, but then it's Hughes, Van Dorn, Dennis, NATO, Fenestras, Mortar, even back to Bird. They're all just staying together.
Yeah, Mitch Evans is like, he's holding up a lot of people, and, and like I said, Jean-Eric Verne probably really mad at him right now, and if Jean-Eric Verne can find a way around Sam Bird, and then the conga line will happen.
Down to the breakers over turn 1. Does MotoGP race here? No, MotoGP don't race here. They were looking at it, but they need the runoff areas to be a bit more secure, but they are looking at this track as a possibility. Here's Verline, race leader.
It's really close. Team radio.
Nothing there.
That remaining situation under control. Wemi and Cassidy fighting a lot together.
I think everybody's forgotten about the added laps, because they've just said about 3 to go. They just said 3 to go. They've forgotten that we haven't had that rule come in yet. Now, we should be getting it on lap 33. So the next time around, we should have a maximum of 2 added laps. And it is confirmed. It's just come across our screens now. 2 added laps to these 35-lap race. Confirmation that there is now going to be 2 extra laps. So that's just come across on the blog up here in the commentary box from Formula E. Hasn't come up on our timing screens just yet, as officially done. And yeah, there it is. It's just changed on our timing screens to 37 laps. So it will be a 37-lap race as we come across the line. And there's the added laps graphic. Total time under full course yellow, 6 minutes and 38 seconds. Go, 2 extra laps, according to this board up here.
That's good news for Fenestras then, because he's got enough time to get through to attack mode before the race ends, so see at least some benefit from it. Though it seems not to have worked as intended really in this race, and the slipstream as well. People seem to be content to stay behind one another and save energy. As you see, Verline has got 1% less than Boemi and Cassidy behind him, despite the fact that those two are squabbling away with each other.
Yeah, 13% of energy then with 4 laps left. That's just about doable. Dan Ticktum has 17% of energy left as well. Kenny says, hope
Hector has
everyone...
lost about 12 seconds to Muller.
Yes, he oh yeah, he's down 33 seconds. Yeah, so something's happened there. Oh, hello.
Oh, look at this.
Evans was getting completely out of shape coming out of turns 11, and then he's almost looking like he's coming to a full stop. Vern's all over the back of him into the Forest Sol, and surely Eddie's going to try and make a move.
Yeah, nearly 5 seconds to Gunther in front of him. So Evans, either he is nursing some sort of issue, or he is deliberately backing off to try and protect the front, to protect Cassidy, particularly in case Cassidy is going to risk his energy to try and gain track position on Buemi here.
Yeah, interesting. Kenny said as well that they didn't tell them about the added laps until very late. That's because they wanted to try and catch them out on the energy so that they don't save during the race. The Fat Stick said this race really hasn't been great. God, you guys have been here commentating, making it for me. Thank you for that. Verline.
4 laps remaining, gap 2 seconds, let's be efficient.
Yeah, now they're all starting to panic because they're going to have to save the energy just a little bit more. But Buemi has closed in. The gap that was 2.4 is now 1.5. So, yeah, this is getting very interesting for Verline. Don't forget, he lost a victory here to Lucas Di Grassi when he hit 0% across the line, and Di Grassi photo finish it. Is that history repeating itself? It will be his 3rd win in Mexico out of his 4 career wins if Verline can get this one going. It's very close at the moment, Adam, but Buemi is catching him, 1.5.
He can catch him. The question is, where do you get around him? Because you know it's not going to be easy to get around.
Oh, I'm going to interrupt you because Dennis and Verline is going to be investigated after the race for this technical infringement. They have not forgotten it. The stewards have reminded us in the dying seconds of this Mexico EPrix that the race leader and provisional winner is under investigation for a technical infringement. Madness in Mexico as we see Evans and Vern closing together.
Olay.
It's not the kind of madness that we usually like, just heated stewards rooms. We like to get heated on the track, and hopefully Vern can make something happen. But Evans has been defending very, very robustly, hasn't he? So it's been difficult to find a little opening here.
Anything that happens post-race, we'll be reviewing all of the Mexico madness on the JB Motorsports
they
podcast.
Take it away from Verline. That'll be the 2nd time it's happened to him in Mexico.
Yes.
And also the 3rd time that the winner in Mexico that's crossed the line has not been the same person that has stood on top of the podium.
We go on!
Unless it's a very quick post-race investigation, this could be very, very controversial. So Buemi might not even attack now, thinking he'll just be gifted the race win.
1.5 the gap. We're on to the added laps. It's now lap 36 of 37. Dennis 2 under investigation. He's in 9th position. Gap between them is 1.5. 4% of energy, now 5%. That's enough. Here's Verline's radio.
Of energy remaining at the top 10.
Didn't even say anything.
Team radio.
Nothing. Just nothing. So, into the 9, 10, 11. They daren't tell him. Would you tell him that you're going to lose your 3rd win in Mexico?
We don't know what the technical infraction is. It could just be someone forgot to put digit on the technical passport pre-race, and they must have... NATO, we know, was cleared for whatever this infraction was, but it seems Dennis and Verline are not.
So this is going to get interesting. And on the inside, Vern's making the move in the Forest Sol. Evans shuts the door. We cut to the webcam. Don't know why. Back to the track action. Closing through. And Vern wants to make it on the last lap. The white flag. Verline takes it onto the last one. 1.4 the gap to Buemi. Cassidy's in there too. And if Cassidy passes Buemi, it could be a race win for him. It could. Anybody can win this one. Evans on the last lap. He's on 2% of energy. Vern's on 3. Everyone's trying to save, coming into it once more. If we don't hear anything before we go off air, the JB Motorsports podcast reviewing all of this action is the place to be for any news. Grid Network as well. Verline closing in with Buemi Ed, but it looks like Verline might just take it.
Yeah, well, he's certainly going to win it on the road, but that's a shame. It's very rare that these days that we seem to see Pascal Wehrlein winning without some sort of asterisk over it. But 1% only needs to coast at home now, and he's done all the work that he could do on track. And it's only really this infringement that could take it away from him. There's also a car, I think, they're almost about to lap. I think Ticktum's a little bit too far ahead for that to happen.
He's done all he can. It's a post-race investigation, but the first win on the road of season 10, Pascal Wehrlein once again wins the Mexico EPrix under controversial circumstances. He coasts across the line. Buemi second, Cassidy third, Gunther takes fourth. Evans comes home to just hold on to P5. Does he? To Vern. Evans on zero. Evans across the line to Vern. Then it's Hughes, Van Dorn, Dennis and Nato top 10.
Dennis and Nato.
Mega drop. Very well done. Very well done.
Well done to Wehrlein. Envision no, it could go their way. There is a lot of post-race discussions and penalties coming the way. Is Pascal Wehrlein going to be denied a victory again in Mexico? But on the road at the moment, he's our winner of season 10, round 1. It's maximum points, pole position, and P1. 28 on the board. Not a bad race, Ed.
No, not that. I think all the action was mainly in the first half, sadly. We didn't quite see anyone dramatically running out. The teams are a little bit too good at this now, and most of the front wings, for the majority of the grid, stayed on this region.
Here he is with Karun, if you can hear them.
You're not quite hearing a response there from Pascal, unfortunately.
He can't talk until his lawyer's present.
Yeah, not sure he heard us there, so no, let's have a listen.
You can be proud of that one. You can be really proud of that one. That was a massive
He's still talking to his team, isn't he?
Job for you guys, pole position, and it looked like a pretty easy win there.
Nothing from Wehrlein. Is the radio fail?
And the winner of the...
Yeah, Wehrlein's not responding. He can't talk until his lawyer's present. He's reserving the right to remain silent.
I don't think he knows, because it doesn't sound like they've told him that we're under investigation or anything. Because, to be fair, there's no reason to assume that the win will be taken away from him now. If Porsche think we didn't do anything wrong, because surely, if it's like a technical passport thing, Porsche will remember how much Puebla hurt, where they lost the win purely because they submitted the passport like a minute before the race with the wrong number for the tyres or something, wasn't it? It was something really silly like that.
Wehrlein won that day.
There we go, nice.
Wehrlein won that day.
Bohemian.
Got it taken away, and he could lose it again.
And also, we know what a gag said as well, that he was like really annoyed he wanted to hit someone because it made sport look amateurish when it was such a tiny little thing that ended up affecting the championship and the race so much. But anyway, there is Pascal, and to all intents and purposes, he seems pretty calm.
Yeah, what's happening here? Are we going to get a... Yeah, big punch.
There we go. Punches the air.
Oh, nice.
I was worried at him for a second that he didn't believe it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, Josh. All right.
That was pretty tense for a while, wasn't it? Because I think we all thought Buemi after that safety car had the edge on him, but the attack mode just didn't go Buemi's way in the end.
I'm surprised. Very surprised.
What was Wehrlein doing there with the camera? It looked like he knelt down in front of it, almost like a bow. Yeah, there we go. That's a repeat. Oh, hands up.
It's hand. Is that like because he had a young child on the off-season? So it could be that's a little thing that his child has done for his helmet. So that's a nice little touch from Pascal. He has seemed a lot more relaxed this season, I think it's fair to say. And look at all the fan pictures of him, like the massive cardboard cutout as well.
Don't know why we're seeing these. I'm slightly worried that TNT are going to go off. TNT are leaving TNT Sports 1. That's what's happening. They're staying with TNT Sports 4. I see.
Simulcasting.
Yeah, they're simulcasting across there as well. What an opener here.
Another thing copied from Sky's F1 coverage.
Yeah, simulcasting it on 1 and 2. Not bad at all. Great race, actually. Josh T, what's your takes on it down there in the pits?
Yeah, it was a chaotic first half, as Ed said. It died off a little bit to the end. Surprised we didn't have a red flag. And there's Degrassi's tail light hanging off. But yeah, Verline has got the win for now. We will see what the stewards say.
Just a quick thing that there could be maximum 7 laps added to a EPrix. That's the rule in the book that I looked at during the off-season and made notes for. Fastest lap also gets a bonus point, so that goes to Cassidy. He gets the bonus point for fastest lap, a 1:14.746, so he picks up, instead of 16, he gets instead of 15, he gets 16 World Championship points on the board. Pascal Wehrlein then, our first winner in the 10th season of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. We keep our fingers crossed, however, that there won't be any post-race investigation that could get rid of him. If there is, JB Motorsports Podcast is the place to be, where we'll sit down and review all the action from this weekend. Formula E Zone as well will have their call-in show on Monday, so you can go over to their YouTube channel, where me and Ed will be, along with Pickering and James as well, going in there, and the Grid Network show as well.
James.
I can't remember, I forgot. Going in there as well. Jack.
Those
Yeah.
are the two hosts.
James Smashersgale for some reason was in my mind.
No, Smashersgale's one of the drivers in ERC Formula.
Yeah, he got me with it because he was teammates with Jack.
James Smashersgale is a lovely guy,
Yes.
but I don't think he'd be that interested. You never know. Maybe I'll ask him, see what he says. But, I suspect if it's not virtual cars, Smashersgale will say, I'll stay home. Anyway, I'm going to be at an improv course till like the first half of that. It's 2 hours, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock on Monday night. So we will know by then, hopefully, who the actual winner of this race is.
Grid Network wrap-up show tomorrow as well, 5 p.m. GMT, and that's 12 p.m. 12 p.m. over there in America, Eastern time as well.
Right.
So it's going to be all eyes there to the podium. Let's cross over and hear from our top 3 with the interviews, and we'll join our World Free commentary team with Tom Brooks and David Coulthard.
Envision, which Sebastian Buemi is driving for now, and Cassidy drove last year. So, although it's the same car, you can't underestimate working with new and different people, and just the way they go about their procedures and the systems and work through a weekend will be slightly different.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good job from Nick Cassidy. He also gets a bonus point for the fastest lap. Let's head down to finally catch up with our race winner. Nicky is with Pascal Wehrlein.
Well, but Pascal Wehrlein, wow, that was a beautifully controlled race. Lights to flag victory. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a tough race because we were leading most of the race, and actually that's not so efficient on energy, but yeah, for me, when I took over the lead, every lap was more or less like a qualifying lap, really trying to maximize all my minimum speeds. And yeah, I saw that Sepp did a small mistake once behind me, which opened a small gap for me, and from then I think it was pretty controlled. So thanks a lot to my team, thanks a lot to all the fans here. It's always great to be here in Mexico, and yeah, already looking forward to come back next year.
Well, the fans are clearly absolutely loving this moment. Seeing you, Pascal Wehrlein, their winner here today. What a way to kick off season 10.
Yeah, it's definitely great to start a season like this, because last season, especially the second half of the season, was a bit frustrating. So yeah, we stick together, we try to improve all of our weaknesses, and I think again, to kick off the season like this is great, but now we need to continue and we need to keep pushing so that we don't suffer the same issue like last season.
Absolutely, hope that momentum continues into Saudi. Pascal Wehrlein, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, great to hear there from Pascal Wehrlein, the winner of the opening EPrix of the 2024 ABB FIA Formula E World Championship for Season 10. Great job for him and for Team Porsche. Looking forward to seeing what the podium celebrations are going to be like. And we'll be hopefully seeing the drivers in the car on the way to the podium. Of course, as we know, there is an incident under investigation for Wehrlein and for Dennis as well at the end of this race. So this is Wehrlein's start. Absolute textbook launch away from the lights. Despite maybe taking the lead after Wehrlein went into attack mode, he was able to get it back, and then from that point just really controlled the race, controlled his pace, and built out a 1 to 1.5 second gap over the rest of the field, and was never to be seen again. Superb job from Pascal Wehrlein. A great podium also for Sebastian Buemi for Team Envision. Let's catch up with him and find out his thoughts after the race.
Sebastian Buemi for Envision, congratulations. Back on the podium again, your 4th time here in Mexico.
Yeah, actually, it was a smooth race, and I think clearly the qualifying was obviously the key point. It's quite difficult to pass here. But I think we've had a clean race. Obviously, I had a bit of a moment into turn 1 and nearly lost position to Nick, but then I was just able to recover. Pascal was fast. I knew apparently it was under investigation. I didn't want to try too much. So, happy with that P2, and if it becomes something better, then we'll be happy as well.
So you decided to just enjoy P2 rather than go for the win?
Yeah, I mean, the last 5 laps I kept under-consuming. I guess I could have got close to him, but at that point, to pass him, it would have been really risky. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to finish P2 and see what happens.
Take the points. Well, congratulations. Sebastian Buemi, 2nd here in Mexico City.
Not a bad race from Buemi.
Thanks, Nicky. Thanks, Sebastian. Very much appreciated. This was the race from Buemi's point of view. 2nd place on the grid. Bit of an early attack there from Max Günther. Wasn't quite able to make him stick, the German driver. Went into the lead briefly after Wehrlein took his attack mode. That was a really supremely well-timed job from Wehrlein and from Buemi as well. Let's catch up with our 3rd place finisher, Nick Cassidy, at the end of the race.
Well, Nick Cassidy, this is the start of a new chapter for you at Jaguar TCS. What a way to do it with a podium finish.
Yeah, really nice. It's not been an easy weekend, and the team have been really awesome with me, though. And I think, you know, hopefully this is the start of something quite cool, and hopefully we can keep improving. But great race. I think we got fast lap 2, so that's a nice little cherry on top.
Was the expectation today to be on the podium?
Coming into the weekend, I was quite confident and high on expectation, but I must say with FP1 and FP2, I thought, you know, I'm in for a difficult weekend, so the recovery was really nice.
And Pascal Wehrlein just had incredible pace. Were you surprised by that?
I think we could challenge him. I think the grid penalty really hurt. You know, we could get Max and go to P3, but had that been starting P3 and a bit different, then hopefully we would have had something for Pascal.
Excellent. Well, what an absolutely fantastic start for yourself and the team. Huge congratulations.
3rd place it is for Nick Cassidy, and as he said quite rightly, bonus point for fastest lap as well. This was the race from his perspective. Got himself up into 3rd position ahead of Max Günther when Günther went for his attack mode. And at that point, again, he was able to control the gap quite comfortably to the Maserati. Wasn't close enough to launch an attack onto the back of Buemi, but 3rd at the checkered flag. It's not a bad way to make your debut with a brand new team, and they'll be hoping for a bit more forward progress in Diriyah in a couple of weeks' time when the show rolls on. Of the garage as well. Mitch Evans, I'm sure, will be a little bit disappointed with 5th place, but
yeah, I think he would be, wouldn't he? Oh look, they've nicked the idea from the London EPrix, from the Las Vegas EPrix, haven't they? It's time for the driver's cool-down car, and David Coulthard's taking them for a drive.
Congratulations! What a great way to start the year.
This is why DC has been all over the place in the sports and whatever.
I never had it. You guys have it.
But, they'll be very chummy and not very insightful.
You're pretty strong around here, aren't you? Mexico obviously works well for you.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but somehow, even in Puebla, so not only Mexico City, but we always seem strong here. So.
Well, Sebastian as well. You've not won here, but you've had a bunch of podiums here. So.
Yeah, I think 4 total.
No way. That's a lot, man.
I mean, I'm racing. They're calling me the veteran now.
Are they?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but you don't need to worry until you hear my colour.
It's starting a bit, I see.
Yeah, that's kids do that.
How old are you now?
35.
Yeah, young man.
But I remember when you did your last race, 2008.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
I was, well, unofficially. No, I was 37.
Fuck, you were.
Apologies for language.
Yeah, I came to DTM for you to show me how to drive. But
they don't realise.
Anyway, Nick, great way for you to start your new relationship with Jaguar.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. Far out. It's not easy around here, right? Oh, it's hard. It's not easy. Qualifying, you look at this shit, you qualifying like.
Apologies.
One tenth to P6.
Oh, it's so impressive how close it was in qualifying. Well, look, if it makes you feel any better, you know, the temperature of the commentary box was. Well, so you were driving, you know.
Oh, we're losing the signal from them. It's probably for the
It's
best.
just like cutting it. It's killing itself, so we don't have to hear me swearing about his horrible qualifying.
What was probably for the best there, Adam, wasn't it? It's quite embarrassing.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I will say,
no British driver on the podium, so.
I mean, Josh, I will say this. I picked Nick Cassidy to win the World Championship, and it's gotten off to a good start so far. Long way to go, though.
I picked Buemi to win the race. I lost my picker winner, but he finished second. But I picked Verline to win the title, so it's a moral victory. He's won the opening race. I'm feeling, I think, 75% positive with the way I've predicted this season to go. As you two do disappear. Oh, there you go. You're back now. Here's your race classification then in full. This is very much provisional as things stand. Pascal Wehrlein wins here in Mexico from Sebastian Buemi and Nick Cassidy rounding out the podium. Max Gunther is fourth with Mitch Evans in fifth. Sixth place for Jean-Eric Verne with Jake Hughes in seventh. Eighth for Stoffel Van Dorn. Jake Dennis is ninth. And Norman Nato rounds out the top 10. But Wehrlein and Dennis are under investigation post-race for a technical infringement. Oliver Rowland just outside the points in 11th. Sasha Fenestraz is 12th. Eduardo Mortara 13th. Sam Bird 14th. Nick De Vries fights back to 15th. Johan Jaruvela 16th after going off at turn 1. Nico Muller 17th. Dan Ticktum finishes 18th after a problem. Out of the race, Robin Frines, Antonio Felix da Costa, and the two Brazilians of Lucas de Grassi and Sergio Sete Camara. And in the Drivers' Championship now, Pascal Wehrlein leads on 28 points. Sebastian Buemi is on 18. Nick Cassidy takes 16 with the fastest lap. Max Gunther's on 12. Mitch Evans 10. Jean-Eric Verne on 8. Jake Hughes on 6. Stoffel Van Dorn on 4. Jake Dennis on 2. Norman Nato has 1. And in the Teams Championship, leaving Mexico City as well, it all changes there. Don't know why we're seeing the second page of the Drivers' Championship, because nobody scored any points. So that doesn't usually happen. We'll wait.
They started, so they have to finish. Josh.
That's true. Right, here's the Teams Championship then. Leaving Mexico City. No? Okay, fine, whatever. They showed the wrong page, I feel. I was waiting to go through the teams. Anyway, podium time. David Coulthard hasn't crashed the car. Much as that TV picture might have misled us. And we are going in for the podium. Nick Cassidy on the podium once more. But it's Porsche winning once again in Formula E. High fives all round. Good news story actually for Porsche. Continuing their dominance of the Diriyah races last year where Wehrlein took it. It was him and Dennis.
There's also,
go on.
I don't know if you saw, but there was a press conference where Florian Modling of the boss of Porsche Formula E was told, because Porsche joining F1, are you going to quit Formula E to focus on F1? Or because Cooper is a sister brand also owned by Volkswagen Audi Group, are you going to quit as well? And they basically laughed that off and said, no, we're committed to Formula E.
Excellent. Porsche stays, it's what we need. Jaguar on the podium as well. 3 actual different teams, different manufacturers. Jaguar, Envision, and Porsche.
Envision uses the Jaguar power.
That's true. Yeah. Different teams then.
But Porsche are kind of the outliers. Wehrlein was the only Porsche runner who really maximised everything today. The others either had a bad qualifying and struggled to make progress, or
really surprisingly bad from the Andretti's. 9th and 10th, Dennis and Nato. That was really.
I think they made about as much progress as they could from 13th and 14th. Though.
Yeah, but they had safety cars as well that could have benefited them. It didn't really work out as well as we thought it would. Pascal Wehrlein, though, will get ready to run up. We see Cassidy, we see Buemi now. They call him the veteran, according to himself. Interesting. I didn't know they did that. He's one of the originals.
He's one of 5 current then, isn't he?
Yeah.
Him, Degrassi, Bird. Da Costa's been there pretty much almost since day one.
Verne, you can even throw in. Yeah, race 3.
Verne was like middle of 30s. Yeah. The others have been there. Frines has been there since season 2.
Yeah, Frines was there and he missed out.
Ones,
yeah, Frines missed out in season 7, didn't he? And came back in season 8. There's our race winner though, Pascal Wehrlein. My pick for a champion this season. It starts off in style with pole position and a race win. See, I can get some things right. I predicted Boemi to win the race and Wehrlein to win the title. They lined up 1-2 on the grid. They finished 1-2 in the race, but not in the order I thought. But that proves we know what we're talking about here on JB Motorsports. And all the race reaction as well. Anything that develops post-race with the penalties that are looming possibly for Wehrlein and Dennis. If they're not happening on air, we'll talk about them in the Grid Network show tomorrow. And the Formula E Zone show Monday. And of course, our own wrap-up series, the JB Motorsports podcast, the 3rd episode. And in Pascal Wehrlein and Porsche's honour, we will hear the German national anthem. What a race for Porsche. What a race for Pascal Wehrlein. The investigation will loom on, but we'll get the trophies presented to them now. Starting with the constructors for winning team, Tag Heuer Porsche. Jorge Abed, the president of the FIA Circuits Commission, doesn't know what to do on the podium. Gives the trophy finally to Porsche. And are we going to go 3rd or 1st? Amy, Sofia Carreno, the girls on track, presents the trophy to Nick Cassidy for 3rd place here in Mexico City for Jaguar TCS Racing after 37 laps completed. 2nd place. As they come through, there's Mike Mustafa, the president of Smart Building Division at ABB. 2nd place presented to Sebastian Boemi. How long until he wins that race? That Envision car was strong in testing and it's getting stronger in race trim as well. Diria next up with a double header. Let's see what he can do there. Enel Cho, the president of Hankook for Latin America, presents the P1 trophy to Pascal Wehrlein, who wins in Mexico provisionally. And now, for the first time in 2024, it's champagne time! The celebrations can begin as 2024 is well and truly underway. The motorsport season has started. Next week we are testing and we are qualifying for the Rolex 24 Hours. A week later we are racing in both Dürer and Daytona on a mega 24-hour weekend that you do not want to miss. Then it's into February where we hit NASCAR and the Formula One testing and then the first race as well. March kicks us with MotoGP. April kicks us with the touring cars. And everything kicks off for another go round the sun with IndyCar as well. What a year. 2024, our motto, JB Motorsports 24/7. We will never leave. Fantastic.
Well, that sounds quite ominous, Josh.
Yep.
Yeah.
About right.
I'll make sure your family is
All
well
right.
taken care of.
Oh, trust
If
me.
you're gonna leave.
Megan's already scared about this year, about what we're doing with everything. That's why she's not here this evening.
The see you in Dürer message is appropriate this time rather than in Hyderabad when they just had Dürer.
That's true. Well, we'll see Formula E in Dürer, but we won't see you, Ed. You take Dürer off quite rightly so.
I might listen to you guys' commentary, but
Yeah, that counts.
other than that,
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, it doesn't count in terms of watching the races because I'm not literally watching it. But
Yeah.
Even the ads for the next race.
Cover the ads.
Yeah, depressing. Anyway, should I sum up
Yes,
what we've just
please
seen
do.
today? Okay. As I predicted, I think I did predict Pascal Wehrlein would walk away with it, but I think he didn't quite have an easier time of it as I thought he might. I think Buemi put up a good fight, but ultimately didn't quite have the energy management. Yeah, he could have challenged at the end. We'll have to see what happens post-race. I think it would be really, really harsh if Pascal Wehrlein lost that. I think it would be like opening 50 traumas at once after the amount of events that have happened to him in Formula E over the years. And I think Cassidy did a good recovery job to get on the podium. I even think both Andretti's recovered well to finish in the points as well. Hopefully Dennis gets to keep his points as well. And I thought the DS powertrains were actually really strong here in Mexico. Gunther, Van Dorn and Verne all scoring decent points. And Hughes sort of hanging on in the middle of them to get some points on the board for McLaren. So I think there's still more twists and turns to come in this championship. But I think it's, on my view, it's going to be a straight fight between Porsche, Andretti, and the two Jaguar power teams of Envision and Jaguar Racing, of course. So I think bring it on. More of the same.
Adam, what's your takeaway?
Well, Pascal Wehrlein has set the standard this year. Was really great in qualifying, and nice to see the Andretti Global cars of Jake Dennis and Norman Nato get into the points, like Ed said, and I think this is going to be game on. Ed mentioned the Envision team, the Jaguar team, Andretti. They're all going to be going after the driver championship and the team's championship, and I think this is going to be one incredible Formula E season. You definitely do not want to miss. So we will be here all throughout the 2024 ABB FIA Formula E World Championship to bring you all the practices, qualifying, and the races. So tell your friends, tell your family. Subscribe to us here at JB Motorsports, as we'll have you covered from green flag to checkered throughout 2024.
Couldn't have put it better myself, and I won't even try. We've got so much on this year, and we're all refreshed, ready to go. And that'll include our third episode of the JB Motorsports podcast that'll be recorded over the next few days, highlighting Mexico, and we'll get it out to you. It'll be on YouTube, it'll be on Twitch, it'll also be on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music as well. Josh T is down in the pits, and I'll even say Omi if he's still around to get ready if he wants to say anything about this one and make an appearance. But Josh T down in the pit lane, what did you make of the first race of the year? He asked the Daleks. No, lost him. Josh? No, he might have had a technical failure on that factor, but okay, never mind. That's 1 out of 2. I don't suppose Omi's there either then, in the background.
Hi.
Hello, Omi!
Hello.
Oh, and now Josh T's back. Okay. Both at the same time.
Out of pit lane all of a sudden.
Yeah, they've picked the mics up. Okay, Josh, you were late. Omi picked up the mic first. Omi, what did you make of that race? Nice to have you on the stream, by the way, just for a quick interview. What did you make of race 1?
Very good, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, thanks, Omi. Josh T, what about you? Back in the pit lane now, picked up a mic. What did you make of that opening race?
Yeah, I had absolutely no idea. I was unmuted and I was saying, I was saying what I was gonna say in my mic, but Discord just was not working. Anyway, yeah, it was a good race of the first race of the season. We've got a double header up next. Some little bit of chaos, and I think the drivers may have to be reminded that they are live when they are in the car.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. It's not great, is it, to come through? Well, that's it. All done and dusted. We'll have a new commentary lineup when we get to Diriyah. in the box as well, as Ed won't be with us for the 2 races in Diriyah, and Adam will be with us for the Rolex 24-hour race. So we'll have a new team ready alongside me in the box. Some special guests already lined up for the 2 races as well. My thanks, though, today to Josh T in the pits, Omi for watching along with us as well. And, of course, special thanks to Ed Hunter and to Adam Lemridge for joining me for the first race of the season. And a special thanks to all of you at home on YouTube and Twitch for watching along with us. That's it then. The first race of 2024 is in the books. It may not have been a classic, but it certainly has given us an idea of what we can expect in Formula E in terms of the pecking order. This incredible season will kick off once again in 2 weeks' time in Saudi Arabia in Diriyah. Next week on the channel, we'll be having JB Motorsports' podcast's 3rd episode reviewing Mexico. On the Sunday as well, we'll also have the qualifying for the Daytona 24-hour race, the Rolex 24, and then the following Sunday, or following Friday, Saturday and Sunday, the 2 races from Diriyah with all practice and qualifying live, as well as the EPrix, and then full 24-hour coverage of the Rolex 24 live on YouTube and Twitch across the JB Motorsports platforms. We cannot wait. Thank you all for joining us here in Mexico. It's Pascal Wehrlein who takes the honours, a pole position and a race win. There is nothing that can stop him. A 3rd win here, but technically 2nd in Mexico. It's an investigation, but for now, he's the master. We'll see you in Diriyah in 2 weeks' time for rounds 3 and 4 of the ABB FIA Formula E Championship. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
ABB FIA Formula E World Championship is go in Mexico City. Nico Muller, the second of the Ab Coopers, into the wall, their 100th race. Oh, that's Robert Frines.
It's been a faultless drive out front for Pascal Wehrlein.
It is going to be first blood in 2024 for the Tag Heuer Porsche team. A 2nd victory in Mexico City for Pascal Wehrlein. Perfect start for Porsche as well.